My name is Shermaine Forrest. I'm the daughter of Glenville Forrest. I'm representing him for the house. I am so happy. I am so joyful. And I know he's rejoicing and I know he's happy, but I'm sorry he can't be beside me right now because he's unable to move. And thank you once again.
What was life like before receiving this?
It was rough. It was struggling. It's rough. Trust me, it's very, very rough. Sometimes I feel like I to give up, but I know Father God is above, and I want to give God thanks as well. Because if it was not His mercy, and His guidance and protection, we won't be here today to give Glenville Forest.
In Kingston, Jamaica, approximately 924 containerized housing units are on the island as the government presses ahead with its temporary housing relief program to assist families displaced by Hurricane Melissa. The units are being stored at locations including Spanish Town, St. Catherine, uh, Luliana, in St. Elizabeth, and Montpelier, St. James, under the supervision of the Jamaica Defense Force, the JDF, said Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Infrastructure Development, Robert Montague. An additional 500 units are expected within the next 3 weeks as part of a large order of 2,500 units. Montague gave the update during an inspection of mobile container homes at the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management storage facility in Twickenham Park, St. Catherine, on Tuesday, May 19th. The minister, who is responsible for land titling and settlements, said the housing relief program is intended to provide some level of comfort to Jamaicans whose homes were destroyed by the hurricane. He noted that several housing solutions are being pursued, including containerized units purchased by the Ministry of Economic Growth and Infrastructure Development, units donated by the government of China, and 300 wooden housing units to be supplied by the Red Cross. He explained that an initial assessment suggests that some 12,000 families had been severely affected by Hurricane Melissa, but after reviews conducted by the Ministry of Labor and Social Security municipal authorities, the figure has been reduced significantly. We are now down to approximately 2,500 families that are adversely affected, destroyed, or built in areas that are not safe, Montague said. He noted that the revised figure reflects the fact that many families have already rebuilt through insurance settlements, support from relatives, community assistance, and the government roofing programs. Municipal authorities also identify duplicate reports from households, which the ministry stressed were not necessarily fraudulent, but resulted from multiple persons with the same household filing separate damage reports. He noted that the relocation was being guided by strict instructions from Prime Minister Andrew Holness that displayed residents should not be relocated to environmentally vulnerable or unsafe areas. He informed that the units acquired by the government are being equipped with water tanks and solar generators to improve living conditions for families. He informed that beneficiaries will receive grants to construct bases for these units with assistance from community members, while municipal authorities will inspect and certify the structures before installation. He also noted that the National Housing Trust has agreed to acquire two tractor heads with lift arms to assist with unloading and installing the collapsible units, which were especially designed to reduce shipping costs. Montague said that the government intends to retain some units for future disasters, while any excess units may eventually be redirected to the new social housing program or infirmaries to house social cases currently corrupting hospital beds unnecessarily. Let me read that again. Montague said that the government intends to retain some units for future disasters, while any excess units may eventually be redirected to the new social housing program or infirmaries to house social cases currently occupying hospital beds unnecessarily. The ministry expressed gratitude to the government and people of China, the Red Cross, the JDF, and Jamaicans who assist neighbors and relatives following the hurricane.
Is the Member of Parliament for Central Westmoreland, Mr. Dwayne Vaz, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Infrastructure Development. Our Costas is also here. Minister Dana Dixon, the Minister of Information, is also here with us. And the community persons are here from Goldsmith. And joining us also is the Councillor for the Cornwall Mountain Division, where we are down at Foster. So what you saw a while ago was the installation of one of the semi-permanent housing units, the containerized unit. It is a studio type. We have three different types. You have a one bedroom, which can be converted to a two bedroom, and we are reserving those for families and in the cluster situation. Then we have the studios, which is this unit bought by the ministry. And then we have another unit, which is another studio, donated as a gift from the government and people of China. We have, since morning, we look.
The Jamaican Observer posted that container home brings relief to Hurricane Melissa victims. Waterworks Westmoreland, Charmaine Forrest, could hardly contain her joy as she celebrated the unboxing of her father Glenville's new government provided container home. I am so happy. I am so joyful. I know he's rejoicing and I know he's happy, but I'm sorry he can't be beside me right now because he is unable to move, she told journalists Tuesday afternoon after watching a crane unfold the metal structure into a solid structure. The process took less than half an hour and it was secured on a prepared concrete base. The unit will replace the wooden structure that 74-year-old Glenville once called home. That structure was destroyed by Hurricane Melissa last October, leaving him displaced. Charmaine lost her own home during the uh, Category 5 storm as well, leaving her unable to assist her father and stepmother. Trust me, it's very, very rough. Sometimes I feel like giving up, but I know Father God is above, and I want to give God thanks as well. Because if it was not for His mercy and His guidance and protection, we wouldn't be here today to give Glenville Forest this nice unit. So I want to say thanks again, said Charmaine. When I say life was rough, it was ugly with my father because he cannot walk. It was so struggling, especially with my stepmother. It was so rough on her to manage him, to lift him up, to do all of that, she explained. The semi permanent studio unit, often referred to as a containerized a containerized housing unit or container home, is valued at a little under $1 million. I wonder if that's 1 million Jamaican dollars or $1. Probably one million Jamaican dollars. With a total cost of the government of 2.5 million once additional expenses are factored in. These include a water tank, a sewage system, bathroom fittings, electricity generators for selected units, furnishings for select units, transportation, and security. Some units come equipped with bathroom fixtures, a bunk bed, a two-burner stove, a plate set, a pot set, cutlery, and pillows. The studio units one the studio units, one of four types housing solutions being offered to hurricane victims, were purchased by the Ministry of Economic Growth and Infrastructure. Oh, I'm going to repeat that again. I'm getting tongue tied. Um, the studio units, one of four types of housing solutions being offered to hurricane victims, were purchased by the Ministry of Economic Growth and Infrastructure Development. Other unit types include a studio solution with a bathroom, gifts from the government and people of China, gifts from the government and people of China, and a one-bedroom unit that can be converted into a two-bedroom reserved for families in cluster solutions or cluster situations. The fourth solution consists of 300 wooden units donated and managed by the Red Cross. On Tuesday, Minister with responsibility for land titling and land settlements, Robert Montague, outlined that several factors determine how units were allocated. A popular initial method was to issue a check to the beneficiary to independently complete some aspects of the groundwork. But this was rejected by another agency. It was later agreed that engaging contract engaging contractors to build out the base was the best approach. That way, you are sure you can give an account. You don't have to worry or complain, and the quality of work is ensured. And you can hold somebody to book for it, explained Montague. We have since we have since morning looked at the cluster situation in Screwbury, where 20 units are being constructed. 10 already 90% complete. The other 10 will be done in the first phase, and then we'll be moving up to 50 units at that location on lands leased by the sugar company, stated Montague. This is the first time we are attempting something like this in Jamaica on this scale. And therefore, there are a lot of ones to dot, there are a lot of I's to dot and T's to cross, because you will always have the set of persons who want to find fault. You cannot get away with those, and they play their part in the governance structure, stated Montague. He made it clear that significant efforts were made to ensure selected beneficiaries were properly verified. When we started out, we had a lot more, but the verification has reduced the numbers because you also found that more than one person from the same household would have reported the same damage. Then you also have the persons that the Reverend preached about on Sunday, those that are looking for something for nothing, as and so we had to weed out those, weeding out the greedy from the needy, stated Montague. The ministry noted that the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, the Ministry of Local Government and the Community Development, the National Spatial Division, and the Social Development Commission all played a role in the verification process. Member of Parliament, MP for Westmoreland, Central Westmoreland, Member of Parliament, MP for Westmoreland Central Division, Dwayne Vaz, welcomed the clarification provided by Montague, noting that many people mistakenly believe that MPs or counselors counselors were responsible for selecting beneficiaries. Vaz emphasized that people in need remain anxious for housing. We're really anticipating the speedy provision of this for all those who would have applied and those who would have been accepted based on their applications. But there are many more who have not been verified as yet, and we really still have to figure out a way how these other persons that are not on the current list that will get homes will benefit in some form of way. Because as I said, there are many of them out there. They call and complain every day, and these are people who are really in need of help. So we just really thank you for coming forward and really trying to get this process on the road, said Vaz.
Sure, sure. First of all, I'm happy you clarified the verification process because a lot of persons have thought that the member of parliament or the council were the ones who actually did the selection of persons. But actually, the ministry that went out did the assessment, did the verification so persons could get the assistance that they're supposed to get. As you stated earlier, the process has been long. We understand that the T's have to be crossed and the I's dotted by the different agencies that are a part of the process because they have to ensure that whatever is being done is done in the right way. But as I said before, persons are really anxious as to when they will be getting the benefits because many persons are still out there living under substandard conditions. You would have seen the many tarpaulins around the place when you're passing, so many persons are still out there desirous of this level of attention and this level of help. So we're really anticipating the speedy provision of this for all those who would have applied and those who would have really been accepted based on their applications. But there are many more.
This is Marie's Message 411 TV, and I am Marie. Leave your comments in the comment section and let me know what you think about these containers and the container relief for the victims of Hurricane Melissa. Like, share, subscribe. When you click the notification bell, make sure that you click all so that you can get all of my content as I upload them to my YouTube channel. Until next time, be good to yourself and be good to others. This is Marie's Message 411 TV. Until next time, bye bye.